Assalamualaikum. My name is Rahana Najihah binti Iraza. I'm the first presenter. First of all, I will explain about the thesis statement. Thesis statement of our topic is the working part-time affects the positively and negatively on the student performance. While it is true that part-time allow the student to be financially independent while gaining work experience, but their level of the dedications and commitment listen to be affected.
Next, there are 4 presenters in our group. The first presenter is Rahana Najihah binti Eraza. The second presenter is Nur Hidayah binti Aziz. The third presenter is Nurul Afika binti Abu Qasim. And the last presenter is Syafiqah Nur Syuhada binti Zakaria.
Next, I will continue point number 1. The first point is a working part-time develop income for student. Other than that, in student at work survey conducted by NUS 1999 found that 68% students use money from the part-time job for their study and the basic needs. According to the ceremony and the judge 1993, is the 5% student unable to access their financial to cover the necessary, such as the clothing, food, and shelter. In the international school, most of the students do the part-time job because after graduating in the summer 2001 due to the withdrawal of the local education funding and the introductions of the tuition fee. However, students use their financial resources on the accommodations and the necessities rather than travel, according to the Deacon 1994. Furthermore, most of the students life hunted by the deep and also found that the 48% student from the 4 central of the higher education in the South Wales did not receive parental contribution, according to the Deacon 1994. For example, is the part-time job may not completely reduce need for a student loan, but they certainly help in the covering other academic and the social expenses. For the second point is a student can get experience while doing a part-time job. However, most of the students enjoy with their university life and they are able to be permanent employee from the part-time job. Other than that, the student can use their part-time work experience when they are applying for the permanent job. The part-time job for the student can help them train themselves for the long-term career. Therefore, according to the Lucas and the Rustin 1997, is the state that the student will remain in their part-time job for the years due to the certifications and the employment relationship, and also influenced by the financial needs. The organization usually prefer employment beyond the job experience because students complete it on their own time. They are willing to do the works, demonstrate self-motivation and self-discipline, according to the Rikorsky 1992. For example, is can help students stand out as the viable candidate when they are applying for an internship, apprenticeship, or graduate job.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hidayah binti Aziz. I will explain for the second article that we have find. There are 2 main points for the benefits of part-time students that I have found, which is the first point is positive effect on the academic studies, and the second point is the practical knowledge is acquired and the students' survival skills are improved. For the first point, the author stated that there is positive effect on the academic studies of the student. From that article, according to Camber 1999, studies on part-time students found that the support of employers, co-workers, family, and friends made a difference in the success or failure of the work and study integration process. Indeed, our life circle really influence our lifestyle sometimes. The co-workers we meet while working part-time will sometimes inspire us to be more diligent in learning. Other than that, the author said that full-time students often face no support or sympathy from the university or their employer, and they make the best of the situation. When this happens, the student will feel challenged and they are more likely to prove to the public that part-time work also does not have a negative impact on learning, even more, making the students more motivated to obtain excellent results. Next, according to Bills 1995, said that a study of teachers' attitude toward working students in the US high school found that the teachers cares about working students, but not enough to change their classroom behavior toward germs. Every student who is given encouragement from their teacher is more likely to be more enthusiastic in learning. They realize that they will not be given flexibility even if they work part-time, and thus they will be more focused on not neglecting every assignment given by their teacher or lecturer. And lastly, according to Camber 1999, said that part-time students should be given more flexibility in terms of studies and assignment to increase the chance of success. For example, the teachers who teach can monitor the work that the students does from day to day to ensure the work done runs smoothly, and if the student is eligible for extra time, the teacher can give them extra time so that the assignment are done correctly and accurately. Next, the second main points are the practical knowledge is acquired and student survival skills are improved. This has been mentioned by Matt Catchney 2009. He said that working can enhance a student's academic knowledge or skills, academic motivation, career development, and employment prospect in cases where the work is directly related to their vocational course of study. For example, if they work part-time as salespeople, they can improve their skills in account management and so on. Next, the survey by Susan 2000 also found that the ability to work in teams and handle delicate, difficult, and sometimes hostile situations with tact, presence of mind, and diplomacy was also found to benefit from work experience. From there, the student can make observations on how to handle teamwork and add knowledge for his own use in the future. Other than that, as stated in the research by the author Susan 2000 said that the benefits of part-time work mentioned by respondents include a combination of social factors such as making friends, associating with clients and staff, learning new skills, and gaining work experience. For example, when they associate with older people, usually their thoughts will mature faster and they can also make wise decisions in their life. And lastly, according to Lucas 1997, students are not involved with the labor process, instead demonstrating a resilient medium by expanding their own boundaries of control and developing self-help policies. Usually, students who work part-time will always want to improve the quality of themselves, so they like to learn a new knowledge that they did not learn in their schools or university at that time, as well as they can improve talents and skill they have. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Afika binti Abu Qasim. I will continue the presentation. I will explain the disadvantage of part-time job for a student. I refer to the article Working and Studying at the same time by Boon Chantri, Hot Sophie, and Hao Chantita. From this article, I got two main of the disadvantage of a part-time job for a student. The main point of disadvantage is a student will get excessive stress. The supporting data for this main point is a challenging task for a student to work and study at the same time, as it takes a lot of time on both. This is because students have two important commitments, which are responsibility as a student and responsibility as an employee. Next, according to this article, students are stressed because of too much academic work and career issue. So it is difficult for them to continue studying and working. If the student has a problem at work, such as being scolded by a manager at the working place, that will cause the student to experience emotional problem until the student get the excessive stress. According to Irfan and Azimi, they said the stress of one student with other student is different because it is based on the institution and workplace in which they study or work. That means every student who works and looks at the same time has a different stress because it is based on the environment around the student. If their environment is positive, then the student get less stress. Last but not least, other things put pressure on students besides deadlines. Among them are limited finance, family and time issue and other additional responsibilities. Some of them had to work to support family members to ease the burden on their families. The next main point on disadvantage work and study at the same time is students will face the problem in terms of time management. This article mentioned that students must be competent in managing time well to deal with their hectic schedules. According to research study, with work responsibility, the time available is also reduced and students do not have a time to read. This is because they have to use part of their time with work and most will be tired of coming back late at night. Supposedly, students have to revise the lesson at night, but with their responsibility as employees, they have to sacrifice time to work. Due to their conflicting roles, they also do not have time for themselves and their family. Family closeness will be affected because students do not have a time for family and do activities such as vacation, eating together, and many more. However, the time has been used for work and study. Their assignment had to be postponed until the last minute because students had to work overtime, especially during the sales season and or any other special event. This may can let students feel tired, especially students who work until late at the night and need to finish all assignment given. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Shafika Nur Syuhada binti Zakaria. I'm the last presenter. Now, I'll be presenting regarding on negative impact part-time job for student. So, the next of negative impact is student academic performance drop due to working. According to Greenberger and Steinberg 1986, working while studying was found to reduce academic performance as indicated by some studies. For some students, they are associated with an increased dropout rate in school when they are engaged in extensive work such as time for study or revision is used for work. In fact, the excitement for earning money from their own efforts drives them to ignore their study. In the end, they will easily neglect and feel that their academic performance is no longer important to their survival in life. Not only that, as stated by March 1991, other researchers also found that there is a greater likelihood to drop out when students work for longer hours. However, based on Lynn Robinson 1991, greater involvement in part-time is possible aspects for students to disengage from school. For example, some students think that if they work full-time, they will get more income. At first, they only want to work part-time, but it turns to full-time as they are working either because they want to gain more income or because of the busy workplace. It is worrisome because full-time work requires a commitment of between 9 to 12 hours a day. Hence, they will have to decide stop studying due to their commitment in workplace. According to Lynn Robinson 1999, disengagement from school may lead to the reason for students to longer hours and can be attributed to reduced attachment to school. So the last point for negative impact is working while studying lead to antisocial behavior. Antisocial behavior is an action or activity that objectively disrupts social order. According to Steinberg 1986, antisocial behavior, including the rise of alcohol, tobacco use, and criminal activity, are the detrimental result of teenagers who are working. For instance, the involvement of school teenagers into the world of work can also lead them to become antisocial behaviors. This rather drastic exposure may lead them also to colleagues who are much more mature than them in the workplace that will likely have a detrimental effect, even incited to do unhealthy activities in groups. This is also supported by a study made by Lynn Robinson, 1999. Excessive materialism, cynicism, poor family relationships, and bad attitudes among young people are also consequences of antisocial behavior. Besides, longer working hours were shown to be connected with a lower likelihood of students being satisfied with what they did in their spare time and with their lives in general. Furthermore, the association between students' employment status and satisfaction with many aspects of life could indicate a causal link between the two, which shows that there is negative effect on the issue concerning time spare. That's all. Thank you.
I know blue is not in her. She's a